If you have any more questions, please let us know. Okay, we will continue walking through on the Broadway Street. A couple more blocks till we get to our first destination. Meanwhile, I invite you to enjoy the beautiful look of the city during the holidays. Pretty soon, we'll hit a point where some of you might recognize one of the most famous department stores, if not the most, the only, um, of one of its kind. Maybe we'll keep walking through it. And then just put camera back so you can enjoy the first person view. Estamos esperando que cuando we are arriving at one of my favorite spots in the town. And that is Madison Square Park. recognize it, please drop your replies in the chat and let us know what is the name of this building. I'll show it a little bit up close right now. If you recognize the name of this building, please let us know. Drop your suggestions in the chat. Also, if you have any questions about the life in New York City, leave your questions in the chat. Okay, I believe the sound would improve since I switched from AirPods to iPhone's microphone. Let us know if you have any questions about the life in New York or preparation for Christmas or other topics that you're interested in about America. Okay. As we continue walking up the Broadway Street, soon you should be able to see a, like a trademark, a very, very well known department store. Right now, we're at the corner of 27th and Broadway Street. We'll continue walking up the Broadway until we get to the Macy's department store. And then we'll turn right. Let us know if you have questions about lifestyle, food, drinks, the favorite area of New York City. Okay, well, that's a good question because honestly, I'm still in a bit of an exploration. I have recently moved over here, but I'd say my favorite so far would be a couple of the ones that I just literally just show. Um, it was the Iron Building. It was the Madison Square Park. But I also enjoy Central Park a lot, especially at a time when it's a sunset. I've taken the most incredible pictures there. Um, maybe next time I should be able to showcase them. I'm gonna switch a little bit in case if you have more questions. Okay, I hope my audio is still good. Um, so yeah, that's just talking about New York. What else? What else are you interested to know about? Um, I really wish this year there was snow, but it's kind of too warm for that. So I don't think we expect any snowfall, neither for Christmas or maybe not even for New Year's. Nevertheless, the spirit is all around. If you can see, a lot of stores, hotels, restaurants, they would find a way to decorate the entrances like this. Um, and we'll see so much more, honestly. We're on the way to the um, Rockefeller Plaza, where you would see the most incredible of the Christmas trees I think I've seen so far. And recently in DC, I've seen the National. It was good, but Rockefeller is just a whole another level. Okay, all right, we'll continue walking like this for a while. Okay, passing by all of the wonderful, wonderful outlets and stores. Okay, I have to wait for this bus to pass.
No, hier blok to j'ai dit ça, j'ai dit, mais ça va pas.
A bit of a gloomy, but yet still pretty magical day. How many people live in New York? Okay, it's a good question because New York by itself is a city that consists of five boroughs, and I'd say there's also a metropolitan area which is quite bigger. My uh, the last time I was checking that it was around 8 million, eight like, but don't quote me on that. So I'd say 8 to 10 million, maybe even 12. But again, there's an important distinction between the city itself and the surrounding areas, where a significant part of population lives as well. And you have to remember that just over there across the river, we have New Jersey. New Jersey City has a significant amount of population that travels to New York every day for work. I'd say you can pretty much confidently say New York City has 10 million people. Okay, if you have any other questions, let us know. And we're approaching the corner of the famous Macy's department store. Um, just less than a month ago, I was working on a live stream from Macy's Thanksgiving parade, and that was incredible because just up the street, the Broadway and the Central Park, you would see a ginormous floats with a famous characters, cartoons, or just pop culture references. The actual balloons would be, I don't know, at least 15, 12 feet tall, and they would be suspended up in the air, with people carrying them with like wires. Like 20 people would carry a giant floater, and it's a pure joy for kids and grown-ups. A lot of music, a lot of art as well. Do you recognize this building? Yeah, this is where we're heading afterwards. But now I want you to look at this wonderful corner of 31st and Broadway. Let us know if you have any more questions. We'd be more than happy to tell you anything you want to know. Now, this is where it actually gets much more Christmassy than the other places we've seen so far. And we should go and take a closer look.
Oh, do that nigga to it, bro.
Mesa is extremely well known for being, a powerhouse of representation on national holidays like this. Let's look at the displays.
Right here,
People
Mom.
all over the world would come here to enjoy the festivities.
You guys move out of the way. Things on the middle. Slide over here.
Macy's is looking incredible. And so is the Herald Square. And I bet you recognize this building very well. Because we're gonna head next. One more look at the Macy's department store. Birds are flying all the way to Times Square. We will be turning here. And as always, let us know if you have any questions. Or just let us know how you're doing. I do love New York. Do you? Also, give us a like. And here we are, the Fifth Avenue. And the one almighty Empire State Building. It's incredibly tall. Can you count how many floors Empire State Building has? I'll be honest with you, I don't remember. So, but at least from this angle, you can actually see how not only it's tall, but also very wide. I know that After it was constructed, at least for 5 to 10 years, the building was mostly unoccupied. Nevertheless, it is a symbol of withstanding any challenge, really. They say Empire State of Mind for a reason. Okay, now we'll continue to walk up to Fifth Avenue. Also, if anyone is familiar with New York yourself, then be free to suggest what else would you want to see here, or not, or even if you're not familiar, then just let us know what you want to see.
Umbrella, umbrella, umbrella.
Звука нету. Hi, Robert. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And now we can hear you. Guys,
Yes.
please write something if you can hear Robert well now.
Yeah, they should be able. If you hear me, then they'll hear me for sure because it's YouTube and their sound. I'm sure. But just in case, let us know. Okay.
Thank you. It worked now. Now, thank you.
Sure. Okay. Now we'll move on, and we'll actually go a little bit around. We'll do it quickly though. I want to show you something very interesting, very Christmassy.
Robert, what is your favorite area of New York?
Oh, I mentioned that before, but I'd say so far it's got to be something really casual. Central Park. um, Especially, every part of New York becomes magical. There's a meatpacking district um, close to it. We have Hudson Yards, the newly developed, amazingly looking uh, skyscrapers there. Um, and I'm saying that, like, no matter really where you go, downtown, uptown, Brooklyn, even Queens, you'll find something to your liking, especially in the right environment like weather or sunsets. Sunsets are amazing here. Um, get a climbing up on. Um, I think there was this time when I was at One World Trade Center and looking down on the city from there above. Um, it's amazing. I cannot pick my favorite just yet. I'd say every part is unique, and even those gloomy, a little bit shady parts um, are kind of like perfect to me. That's the part of love in New York. You either do or you don't. And picking it apart feels a little bit not right, I'd say. But favorite places, yeah. Bryant Park is actually one of them. And now we're here. Here, the selection of shops, retail, incredible um, crafts and artistry to people who are looking for gifts to their loved ones. Spin through.
And Robert, can we enter to the one of these little stores just to see?
Yeah, sure. Sure, of course. Um, we probably would want to pick something that's not too many people. As you can see, it's quite a popular place this time. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is a selection of. Oh, it's got to be like. Yeah, you can buy yourself a throw, a blanket, or wonderful Christmas ornaments.
How much this cost, Robert?
It
What's the
looks like
price?
it's $40, but the tax is not included, so you can expect it to be more. I gotta say, this one's looking pretty good. They're by the touch, they feel like they're well made, um, and quite original.
Robert, there is a question from Olga. Would you like to live in New York?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Would you like to live in New York? There is a question from Olga.
Oh, that's a very interesting question because I literally I had a very interesting experience of living here for just about a month and a half this year, and that was fantastic because I got to say it kind of taught me a lot. I do love New York passionately and sincerely, and everyone here has their beautiful, wonderful story. Like nobody else probably around the world. Everyone comes here to. Well, I mean, pretty much most of the people who come here to prove something to themselves or to others. It's a city of unspeakable opportunities. It's still the powerhouse of the world's brightest and the best in every way. From we can talk about, you know, obviously finance, technology, business, marketing, but a lot of art. As a person of art myself, I found here to be a place nurturing for not nurturing, but providing the tools. Let's say mostly have. I gotta correct myself. Providing the tools for artists, for musicians, dancers, um, film directors, photographers, obviously, because is just in the air. Comedians too. So that's why I love New York because it's always the place where you want to go to push yourself to the limits. In my own view, in my own personal life story, not going down too deep into it, I'd say currently I'm not in the place to just let myself do all that, I guess. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll be back, but right now I feel like it might not be. Um, you know, it's challenging. Like it can pretty much drain you out mentally, and unless you have somebody here, um, it might be a little rough. But I'm not discouraging anyone, obviously. If you feel like you're up to that challenge, try yourself, and you know, you'll definitely find something, learn something.
Attention skaters.
It's most realistic. Like, I'm sorry. I wish I could just say like, oh yeah, sure, New York, just go and everything's gonna be perfect. But New York is everything. It's all the goods and the bads, but it's still real. The most real place in the world, I think. Now, I would switch back the camera. Let me know if you have other questions.
There is also questions from Olga. She asking about the building. Why are that buildings that high? I guess that it's about Empire State buildings. Building.
Are we talking about the Empire State Building?
Or
I guess so.
okay. Um, yeah, I'd say why is it so? Well, it's a good question. There's really a lot to it, and when you think about it, um, it it was constructed in the era when um, skyscrapers were already um, you know before the Empire State. Um, you can barely see the little bit of it. The Chrysler's building the top of it. Chrysler was the tallest, and a little bit of competition. I think healthy one was happening. So um, buildings here and how tall they are could define a lot, especially if you're a powerful company and you want to establish your brand to be pretty much physically and metaphorically taller, higher than everybody else, right? So look at a couple of examples around from recent history. Salesforce Tower. I believe that their headquarters are actually in San Francisco, and nevertheless, because of their mightiness, and nowadays um, web technologies, they have one of the highest and appealing buildings. Bank of America Tower, obviously, the bank that defines itself to be the leader in the mega system. So that's what I'm just saying. Buildings represent um, represent companies, represent people, represent ideas, and um, I know that in many cases, especially nowadays, again, if you could see a very tall one, a very, very tall, and a very, very skinny, very, very slim building over there, is a result of interesting um, way of how you can build a tower like this nowadays. Um, Developers would purchase the air rights. The air rights is and a pretty interesting concept. Like if you can see, I mean, we're surrounded by very tall buildings right now, so I probably have to go a couple of blocks away to show what I truly mean. But talking about the air rights is that if you could see the building over there between the two tall skyscrapers, um, every building has a certain, how you say that, like a space, right? Even if it's not used, even if you haven't built, oh, it might be a little too loud, and you might not be able to hear me right now. Okay. But yeah, basically, air rights. Oh, okay. Here's an example. Air rights is something that is given to every lot in New York, on which the buildings are later constructed. But we're talking about the lot, so the ground over there below the building is um, what allows people to have a certain amount of space, right? So some developers purchase the airspace from other lots for obviously a good amount of money, so they can combine it and build taller buildings. It might sound a little bit tricky, but that's kind of a very dry, very dumbed down concept of what's happening. But basically, that's how New York ends up having those incredible skinny skyscrapers all over there. This one, this ground was skinny. Look at it. We'll get closer to it and you'll see what I mean. Um, okay, it's actually starting to rain. We all wish it was snow and not rain, but yet, it's what it is. Let's mix together. Now, the final destination of our trip will be Rockefeller Center. It will take us roughly 7 minutes to get there. So, guys, bear with us. Hope you're not too bored. Uh, you enjoying yourself watching our little New York City walking tour.
Sergey wrote a funny comment. Can you hear me, Robert? He wrote that he can't understand where is the Spider-Man.
Right, Spider-Man. Well, I mean, if I had an honor of meeting him, I definitely would show him to you as well. Um, no Spider-Mans yet. I think that the weather is not really, it's almost, yeah, it's raining now. So might not be the best time for Spider-Man and his web.
Robert, does it often snowing in New York?
Not really. I'd say, honestly, I have not yet seen any snow here. Yet I know that it was a little bit of snow a couple of weeks ago. I was on the way to DC. I was on a train. We were passing Pennsylvania, and there I've seen some snow. Actually, this was the first time in this year, and ever since, no, because as you can see, I mean, I like I wish you could feel, but it's pretty warm. Like I am over dressed for today. Honestly, I have a couple of coats here. I even have a little bit of a just to show it off since we're going this way. A little bit of Christmas spirit happening here too. Um, and yet it is too warm right now. So I'd say I'm not expecting any snow this year, unfortunately. But another thing that everybody associates Christmas with, and not actually not a thing, but a person, and everyone take a close look.
Eyes are really
We'll make a quick stop at something that it's just impossible to miss.
Robert, are shops open on weekends?
What? Could you repeat that?
Shops are open on weekends.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of shops. Yeah, of course. They're open. Some particular days, of course, they have oh, the hours. You know, then not as many hours. They might be closed by 6 or 8 p.m. But during this season so far, I've been gift shopping myself. So yeah, and usually I only have time for it on the weekend. Um, yeah, the weekend you can always find pretty much anything you want. Well, we're at the probably most recognizable part of New York City, the Times Square. This is a place that just I I thought, yeah, we can't miss. We have to walk over there. Um, and especially because it's a little bit of dizzy. Um, oh, sorry. Okay.
Robert, are there many tourists here now before the Christmas?
Oh yeah, yeah. As you can see, even now we're dodging through the crowd. Of course, tourists pretty much here all throughout the year, but during Christmas, I'd say especially. And again, um, not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but if it was snowy, then we'd probably see even more people because um, I don't know if you're familiar or not, but there's this thing called um, New Year's ball drop. It's happening right here on Times Square. I think, yeah, it's pretty much similar to what I know is happening in major cities across the world on New Year's at midnight. Um, oh, okay. A ball, a ball drop is happening right there. You cannot see it actually in its full form because it's hidden a little bit behind the IKEA. Um, but the idea is that the top, the ball, yeah, the ball goes on the top of that, like a metal pole, and then 10 seconds before the end of the year, so that would be December 31st, 2023, the ball would go down and the magic will happen. You'll see almost 1 million people here. It will be all crowded and flooded. There will be a concert. It will be all televised live streams. The famous celebrity will perform. So that's how you can imagine the Times Square is taken over by the ball drop, the famous New Year's tradition in New York City. And I think it's fair to assume that it attracts a lot of tourists as well, just as an example. Let us know how you like this walking tour and if you have any ideas of what else you want to see or comments or questions.
Hi, Robert. One more comment, or yeah, it's a question. What a box or flower on your sweater? Just a question.
Um, okay. Hang on, I can show it. So, on my Christmas sweater, what I have is a pretty cute, sorry, I can't resist, a pretty cute kitten. This really funny thing that I wanted to showcase to people around. I continue to walk on Times Square. The weather is, pretty good, I gotta say, even though it's gloomy and cloudy. Again, the magic of New York flourishes in every weather.
And Robert, do you know why New York have a nickname, the Big Apple? There is any story about this nickname?
That's a good thing. That's a good one. The thing is, I heard several.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Heard several versions of the story, and I don't want to be like the person who says something that is not fully correct because I've heard it many times too, but mostly from older generation, let's say. I don't know. New York is a big apple reference to it. It's still, of course, a big thing, but to me, it's just it didn't mistake. I don't know. But so I'll have to check again. No, sorry. I mean, it's kind of a basic question, I think, but I just don't remember. Why would they call it a big apple? The fact that they just don't.
What's the story behind it?
One more question. What about the most beautiful Christmas tree in New York?
Yep. Is there a question?
Yeah, the question is about the most beautiful Christmas tree in New York. Where is it?
Okay, now we're on the way to our final destination, final stop.
Hi, Robert. Can you hear me?
Shortcut. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. I see a question about people who, hmm, opportunities. How they use those opportunities. Okay, that's a good question. Well, I mean, from the top of my head, I have one that might seem a little, I hope not too far-fetched, really. But if some of you are familiar with, and I'm kind of sure you are, um, hang on a second, let's pass this loud intersection.
Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What about the most beautiful Christmas tree? Where is it located?
It is just around the corner. That's where we're going.
Wow, great.
So we're approaching 30 Rock, the headquarters of um, many actually companies. It used to be General Electric, it used to be a lot of things, but now it is most notably Comcast and the National Broadcasting Company, NBC. Um, from here, a lot of famous shows are being recorded, taped. Jimmy Fallon, um, Saturday Night Live, and a couple of other very famous shows. So, not actually not a couple, way more, but the ones that probably worldwide famous happening right here in this building. Okay, and now we're approaching what everybody's been waiting for. Christmas tree. It is just stunning. Whether in person or live streamed like that, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, Robert. Thank you for coming here.
We're gonna get to the center of the square so you can see it in its almighty glory.
Hey, Thompson, I want you to hold my hand. There's a lot of people right here. Okay.
I'll see what days I can choose though.
What is that, Robert?
Ready? One more. Okay. Say cheese. We just got fucked. I thought Mango was kind of funny. I thought you were. That's what I thought it looked like from my perspective. That's why I was like, oh, wait, oh, let me get one regular also. Just, straight up. There you go. Wait, that is Oh. Yeah.